Hey, welcome everybody to the live broadcast here inside the Strategic Profit Lab. This is one of my very first live broadcasts here inside the group. So welcome if you are watching this live, and even if you're just watching this on the recording. I'm going to go over a couple of questions that I've gotten through email, because I know that I posted this morning that somebody about some questions today about your business or digital marketing, email marketing, things like that. And I got a couple of people that just couldn't join me live right now, but I still want to answer those questions because they emailed me them and posted them in the private message to me as well. So I'm going to take care of that. I'm going to give you a few minutes to see if anybody kind of joins me live. Hopefully I'm not talking to the crickets, but hey, it doesn't really matter. I'm here to support you in any way possible, even if it's on the recording afterwards. So it's a great day here in Toronto. I'm just enjoying the weather, enjoying the awesomeness, except it's a little bit muggy today. I don't know where you are in the world listening to this, but hey, welcome. Congratulations on your business, and let me know where you are with that business. Hey, this is what we're all about, right? It's all about impacting the world in a most positive way, getting your stuff out there, and me helping you market that. So I'm hoping that you can hear me. I'm just going to double check. Hey, Margie, thanks for joining me. You can hear me okay, right? I'm guessing you can hear me okay. Can you just let me know in the comments there you can hear me? That'd be awesome. And let me get to some questions here. Just let me pull over. Great, thanks, Margie. So this should be actually easy for an ADD person, right? It's all over the place and all kinds of windows open, but I kind of get thrown off track sometimes easy. So Margie, if you have any questions regarding your business or anything like that, your funnels, your email marketing, whatever it is, if you want to post them there, I'd be happy to answer them for you. I'm going to go through a couple of things that I got in the email or in the private message. So one of them here was about a PLF style launch, and someone asked me, should I do a standard PLF style launch for the product? And that was it. So without the context, it's kind of a hard question to answer, because the PLF, if you're not familiar with what PLF is, that's the product launch formula. And so it really depends on what you're going to be doing with the product launch formula. Now, here's the deal. I'm totally open to all kinds of ways of getting your product out there. The product launch formula thing is a long, drawn-out process, right? And it depends on what you're really selling and how fast you want to get it out there. In most cases, for the stuff that I've been dealing with clients and things like that, they want to get their stuff out a little bit quicker, and so the product launch might not be the best way to do it. If you're selling like a $97 product or something like that, then you might not need a whole big launch series. You can do that through a series of emails, or even a couple of those videos inside emails based on when you bring people into the funnel, like with a quick lead magnet or something like that. The whole product launch formula was basically built for bigger launches and things like that. And I'm not saying you can't use it for the smaller stuff, but I would need a little bit more context on what you're asking in terms of the product launch formula and what your product is and whether you should use it or not. Okay, so that's kind of my safe answer for that one. And if I get a little bit more detail on it, I can answer it even better for you in the way that I would look at that. Margie, okay, so you have one about a funnel. What is your question? When you have the funnel, including survey at the start of the funnel, will it turn customers away? That's a good question. So it depends. Let me see. So what is your product and what are you selling? What's the survey about? And how many questions are the survey, first of all? And is it the opt-in? So they have to, let me ask you this, Margie, do they have to opt in? When they come to your landing page, do they see that survey right away before they can go any further? Including the survey 10. What does 10 mean? I must have asked a question that I don't remember asking. Oh, questions, right, I'm sorry. Okay, so you have 10 questions. That's a lot of questions to ask. So I would say that it's a little bit too much on the front end to be asking somebody to especially if it's cold traffic you're sending to this survey. If it's not cold traffic, if it's something that you're segmenting your list, it's something you can do because then you're trying to actually get people who are going to put up their hand and really want to opt in and get the information or whatever it is that you're trying to sell on the back end. But if it's cold traffic going to 10 questions, that's a lot of stuff. 2 to 3, yeah. So you can have a segmentation, a type of survey at the beginning. Whereas they're coming to your landing page, they're going to get a free lead magnet, whatever it is, and then you want to ask them a couple questions that's kind of segment them out, person A over person B, so they go down different paths in your email marketing, like your follow-up in the back end. That would be pretty cool. And you can also do that on the thank you page, right? So what are you trying to get the information for? Is it for automation later on? Okay. So if you are trying to segment people out for the automation, then I would probably do that on the second page, on the thank you page. And either way, you know what? Let me back up. Like you could probably do it both ways. I would test both ways. I would send people to both types of landing page. Do you have? Let me back up one more time and ask a question. Are they getting a lead magnet as well, like some sort of information, or is it just go to this page and fill out this information? So one for lead magnet, two for they're just going to a survey. Let me know. So are they going to a survey? If you can let me know, Margie, are they going to the survey immediately, or do they get the lead magnet as well on that landing page? Can you let me know? So they know which class is better for them. Okay. So they're going to a landing page and then they're clicking or they're filling out a survey to see which class is better, and then they go into a thank you page. Is that right? They get a lead magnet. Okay. So if they're getting a lead magnet, that's awesome. So I would try both and see which one converts better for you. That's really, the whole answer for everything is to test both ways, because we could sit here all day and try to figure out which one's best for us. But I would definitely try both. But if you, and especially in your survey, just do 1 or 2 questions, maybe 3 questions to segment them out, like you said, not 10. Like that's a little bit too much, I think, on that front end funnel. If it's cold traffic, warmer traffic, maybe it's a little bit easier to get them to look at 10 questions or answer 10 questions. All right. Did that answer your question? I hope. I'm going to let you comment, and if you have another question, just put it in there. I'll answer these other questions I have here from some people who emailed me. Oh, okay, this is a good one. How many emails? Thanks, Margie. How many emails do I need for a follow-up campaign? Okay, so again, this one is a little bit more. It's again one of those abstract questions where if I don't have enough detail, I can't really give you a concrete answer. I mean, that kind of sounds like a cop-out, but it really isn't, because the follow-up campaign, when I'm doing follow-up campaigns, it's all really about the product itself. So again, let's use the example of a $97 product. You don't want to have 10 emails and 10 follow-up emails trying to sell a $97 product. It just doesn't make sense. If somebody hasn't bought over, 3 emails or maybe 4 emails, you're done. Like it's cool. Move on. It's not that they are not interested in your product. It's just that they're not interested in it right now. So the amount of follow-up emails is based upon how expensive your product really is. So to sell, a $2,000 product as opposed to a $200 product, it's completely different, right? And yes, the argument is there that it's just as easy to sell a high-level product than it is to sell, the $200 product. The amount of work is the same, but the amount of emails might not be. So it all depends on kind of what you're doing and what the product looks like. But general rules, okay, rules can be broken, but the general rule is the more expensive the product, the more emails you're sending out, the more campaigns are going to be in place to try and get them to sell it. Now, here's another way of looking at this. You could also look at sending different angles, and this is kind of what I do all the time. So if I have one product and it didn't sell in the first 4 emails, then they go into separate campaigns. They go back into what's called like a super system, where it shoots them back out into other campaigns with different angles based on selling the same product. So it's not like I'm saying over and over again, hey, you should get this product, or it's a good deal, or whatever. But the end result is still the same. The end result is still buying this one product, but it's coming at them from different angles. And that's the reason why I'm so big on the follow-up behind the scenes, right? Because we have to understand that when we're asking people for money, regardless, it's not in our nature as human beings to come into a funnel and give us money. And it's cool. Like sometimes it happens, but it's just not human nature for us to hand over money to some dude on the internet, right? It's just doesn't happen. So we have to put those contingencies into place. That's why we're talking about follow-up emails and all that, because really the money is made on the back end. That's where all of the money is made, even in webinars, right? People are not going to buy mostly on a webinar. They're going to buy on the replays or whatever it is that you do after the webinar. So I kind of look at, the whole follow-up campaigns, campaign as campaigns, like plural. So there's multiple ways of me selling that same product. And it doesn't look like I'm just selling or saying the exact same thing. So I'm using different angles. So I kind of went on a tangent on that one, but the follow-up campaigns, how many emails, all depends on really how much your product is worth, okay? Okay, let me answer, if you have any other questions. I've only got, looks like 1 live here, or 3 live with 1 question here, but that's cool. Hey, it'll get better, right? And if you're watching this on the replay, that'll be cool. You can still put in the comments. I will be here checking this out if you have any questions. Let me go back to these ones that came in through the email. Why do I need an Infusionsoft, and can't I just use Kajabi for email? Wow, that's a big one. We get this all the time about, ClickFunnels or, lead pages, Kajabi, why do I need a separate email CRM provider to do all the magic behind the scenes? Well, the answer is kind of, it all depends. Again, that's going to be, I should have a t-shirt that just says depends, right? Because that's going to be my answer most of the time. But realistically, I'm going to tell you the reason I use Infusionsoft, and I think that, and again, it doesn't have to be Infusionsoft. This could be ActiveCampaign or Drip or whatever it is that you're using. Those CRMs, those email service providers or companies are built for email automation. They're built to do what they're supposed to do, which is, keep people in the funnels and moving them around based on behavioral kind of stuff. Some do it better than others. I think Infusionsoft rocks, and it's just because I'm biased, because I've been using it for such a long time, and that's kind of the way it is. So if I'm just going to reference Infusionsoft, you just insert which one it is that you're using, okay? But those are built around behavioral type of dynamics, and like I said, some do it better than others. Infusionsoft is really good for that. So I'm able to do what I just told you before about the campaigns themselves, is move people in and out of certain campaigns, whether they're 4 email campaigns, like 4 short ones, and maybe into a 10 email campaign, or maybe a 10-week campaign. Like I can keep moving them around based on their behaviors, and things like Kajabi or Thinkific or stuff like that. They're not built for that kind of automation. Now, they could be later on if they really want to do that. But at this point, like, I believe that it's all about the follow-up. I totally understand more that the money is made on the back end rather than the front end. And a lot of, courses and stuff like that will teach you to make the money on the front end, which is nothing wrong with that. You want to make a tripwire or maybe get your ad spend back or something to that effect. But the real money is made in the back end. And when you start to understand that, you're going to look at a more powerful system that allows you to sell on the back end, especially if you've only got one product that you've already given the promotion. You've sent them through the tripwire and all that kind of stuff. They didn't buy it. Well, now what? Well, if you don't have a behavioral type of follow-up in place, then you got to keep creating products or something, or keep sending them the same promotion, and they'll just opt out of your list. So that's the reason why, you want to use something like an Infusionsoft on the back end. It's just majorly for the follow-up. Aweber or GetResponse? I would say that's a really good question. Are you asking for the behavioral angle on that? If it's for the behavioral stuff, I haven't used GetResponse, so I'm guessing here, but I think GetResponse they have the built-in automation. Aweber has a plugin called AW Pro Tools, so you can do the automation, but you need another plugin. Yeah, for the automation. Okay, so Aweber is awesome. That was the first one that I really started with. It's great, and I used AW Pro Tools to do what I'm telling you, which is, you can move people in and out of lists and stuff like that. GetResponse, again, I don't know because I haven't used it, but I'm trying to remember from the marketers that I've been in the room with who have used it. I think automation is automatically built in. So the answer is, if you're using one of them, they're both really good. Yeah, cool. Okay, so thanks for that question. That was great, Margie. Thanks. Okay, so let me go to this other question here. My product didn't sell. What should I do to sell it? Okay, so we talked about this a little bit already in terms of the back end. Right? The back end funnel is how you sell it. Okay, in any marketing, the first point of people coming into your funnel is going to be from those, from those big promotion type of things, whether it's a Facebook ad, a lead magnet, the whole funnel. They come in through the lead magnet, you give them a tripwire or maybe an upsell or something to that effect, and maybe you do a webinar, whatever your funnel looks like, your front end funnel. Let's say pretending that it didn't work, maybe the PLF didn't work, things like that. So this is where people, I find, get stuck, where I've done all this work up front, I've done all my avatar research, it's a great product and everything else, but I think that we need to really start understanding that it's not human nature to buy something right away. And once you get that, once I got that, it was cool. It was like, okay, well, why did I fail? Why did this thing not work? It's just because we're not wired to do that, right? Yes, we do get people who are people that'll buy like right away from us because they just like us. But most of the time, we need people to get to know us and all that kind of stuff, right? And that's kind of where the PLF whole thing was built, because you do 4 or 5 videos, 30 minutes long, and you're building up that bond and trust, but maybe it still doesn't work. So it's the follow-up that is really important on the back end, and that's how you're going to sell your product. So if you don't have a follow-up in place, that's where the challenge is, okay? You might want to tweak the product and ask the people, why they didn't buy it, or, look at your product and see, how long has it not been sold, or is it not selling? If you're continuously doing things over and over again, you're not getting a bite at all, that's a problem, because that means you haven't connected with, your avatar. You don't know what it is that they're looking for. So you need to go back to the drawing board. But if you're selling 1 or 2 here and there and it's not what you're looking for, that's normal. Like, you're not going to quit your job tomorrow selling products online unless you have a funnel that's bringing new people in, and you're building the back-end funnel, the back-end follow-up to continuously talk to these people and nurture them and answer their questions and get them to really trust you. So it's really about the back-end system. All right. You're testing both out. That's good. So which one do you like better, Margie? Which one do you like better? Get a response. So, so you probably know more about it than I do. Am I right that that it has the automation built into it already? You don't have to add that extra plugin, right? Okay, cool. All right. So yeah, so I would use get response then. If you are comfortable with that, then get rid of the other one because I know a lot of big marketers use get response, and there's nothing wrong with that. So you know, don't get in your way. There's so many different opinions and you know, everybody's going to have their own opinion. I like Infusionsoft, but I'm not going to convince you to go to Infusionsoft if you're familiar with Get Response and all that, right? Everybody's going to have their own opinion about what it is that they like because they're using it, okay? So it's very hard to move somebody to, another platform if you're not really using it. Um, which one I get it done faster? How long have you been working with either of the two? Okay, I can give you a little bit of insight based on Aweber if you're going to be doing the automation. Because the automation is in two different places, it's a little bit more cumbersome to work with. That's the only problem with it. And if it's better to have the automation in one place. So I would probably lean towards get response, especially if you're already using that now. 18 days, okay. So you're still pretty new. But that's the system. And is get response, is it a tag based system or a list based system? I don't even know that. I should know that, but I don't. Tag based. Wow, that's really great. Okay. So you're a step ahead of the game. I would definitely stay with the tag based system. Aweber is list based. So you have to move people on and off lists. And here's the problem with list based CRMs or autoresponder thingies, right? it's You're going to get charged for every single time that person's name is on a particular list. So if you have 10 lists and I'm on all 10, then I count as 10 people. That's the way I'm pretty sure most of them are. That's the downside of having a list-based system. Tag-based, I could be wrong with get response, but if it's anything like Infusionsoft, you can have 100 tags on one person, and that person's still only going to be one person in your system, which is awesome. So you can tag them as many ways as you want to, and that helps you with the automation. So that's the reason why stuff like Infusion and Get Response and Drip and Active Campaign, they're all tag. No, actually, Active Campaign is still kind of list based, I believe. Um, but it's better to have a tag based system. So I would kind of lean towards being that expert in Get Response if I were you. This is cool. All right. So if you're watching this on the replay. It looks like most people will watch this on the replay because they don't have a lot of live people here right now. Hopefully that'll increase in the future, but that's cool. We are here to serve and make your business better. But if you're watching this on the replay, I've been talking with Margie here about certain things, emails and funnels and all that. You can still post. I will see them afterwards on the replay if you have any questions regarding your business or marketing or whatever it is, whatever I can help with. I'd love to do that. So you can post them in here if you're watching this on the recording. And if you are watching it on the recording, then hey, show up next time and let's have a live conversation, because this is kind of freaking fun. I love this stuff. So I have one more question here. This is, how do I build my list? Okay, so this is a general question, and if you want to know how to build a list, it's really about lead magnets, right? And your lead magnet is really about something that you could quickly solve someone's problem in pretty much 3 minutes. And I'm not talking about the entire problem, I'm just talking about a portion of their challenge or whatever that is. So a lead magnet is really good if they can download something, usually it's a PDF, usually it's a checklist or something to that effect, that they can actually go through it and get some sort of result from it. So they can check off everything, and let's, for argument's sake, say that it's, the top webinar cameras to use or something, the top 3 webinar cameras to use. And you get that checklist, and now they can choose between one of those 3 or 4 or 5. They don't have to search around. You're going to give them whatever that information is. You save them that time, and now they get a result from that. That's kind of what a lead magnet is all about. So you're going to put that in front of people. The way you put that in front of people, there's a few different ways. One, you could just go on Facebook and say, hey, go get this free thingy, right? Or, and then there's Facebook ads where you got to put a little bit of money into the Facebook ads, which is what everybody really does. Like that's what the top dudes do. You put a little bit of money into Facebook ads, making sure that your solution or your challenge, that lead magnet, is going to draw somebody in. And again, we don't know unless we start putting people toward that opt-in page that if it's going to work or not. So the best way to really see if something's going to work is by putting a little bit of money into it, sending money to a landing page, testing it out. You're going to know within a few hours whether it's working or not, and then you just adapt. And that's kind of how you build your list. So it's not by false promises. It's not by making huge, grandiose promises either, because a lot of people do that too. But you build, if you want a really good list, really good engaging list, here's my personal preference. This is the way that I've been doing it for the longest time, and some of the biggest marketers that I know will attest to this. And it's really that the smaller the list, the better. The smaller engaged list, the better. And that's the thing, because there's a lot of reasons for this, but one of the reasons is because you want to have an engaging list, and then you save yourself on kind of going out and constantly filling that funnel of new people. Because if you're one of those marketers, and I'm not saying you are, but let's say there's a marketer out there who is just filling the funnel based on these big promises and doesn't fulfill it, and you're not going to get an engaged list that way, because they know you're full of crap when they get in, right? And they keep opting out or whatever it looks like on the back end. But if you're a real decent human being, and you're really trying to help people out, and you bring people in, you kind of filter them out at the beginning, saying this is who it's for and this is who it's not for, and really focus on this other one, who it's not for. Because the more you repel people, the more you attract the people who you're really looking for, and that's how you build a list. You build an engaging list based on, this is not for you, right? Anybody that knows me knows that I'm not a biz op guy. You're not going to come into my world, into my coaching or anything like that, and make money overnight. I'm never promising you that. I'm saying you got to work. You got to do some serious work here to build the assets, to build the back end, and to build the automation, so you could sit on the deck and read your book and do whatever it is that you want and have a little bit more freedom than you do now, right? And you don't have to spend a lot of money bringing all these people in all the time. So those are my people. My tribe is, they're entrepreneurs. They want to work hard, but not like they don't want to be slaves to their business. They want to build something that is an asset that gives them time, not holds them hostage to more time, right? So you know that automatically when you come into my world. If you ever opt into any of my stuff, the first email you get says that, hey, if you're this, don't even continue. Like, please go down below and opt out. So my list is very engaging, and it's a small list, and I love that because here's why. My open rates and my engagement rates are huge, right? So when Google and Yahoo and all those people, the powers that be look at my stuff that's being sent out, all they're looking at are percentages. They're not looking at how many emails. They don't care how many emails I've sent out, whether it's 1,000,000 or 10 or 100,000. They don't care. So all they're looking at is the percentages. So if I send out 100,000 emails, and 50,000 people open, that's a 50% open rate, and that's all they care. They don't count how many emails. They're counting the percentages. They're looking at the engagement. So you see, the smaller engaged list is so much more powerful because it gets you into the inboxes. You look good on from the ISP's levels and all those other back-end stuff that we really don't have to know about. We just got to know enough so that we're doing and we're building our business the right way. And that's my personal opinion on really how to build the list. I mean, I didn't get into the specifics of, okay, what are the steps, because I would need to know a little bit more about that specific business, and then I could maybe give you a little bit more details. But generally, that's how you kind of build a list. Wow, that was a long-winded question, right? Or answer, I should say. All my answers are kind of long-winded. I get off on these tangents. That's what ADD does to you, man. It's all good. It's all good. All right, I am done with these questions. I think I've answered. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there, and it's 32 minutes already. Wow, it's amazing how fast 30 minutes goes when you're on these things. I could be here for hours. You don't want to be hearing me talk for hours, do you? I appreciate it if you are again listening to this at the end when it's recorded. The recording. Let me know below if you have any questions regarding this. I'm going to usually do these once a week at least. I'm going to try to do these once a week, if not more than that. Try to make these really engaging and try and help you out as much as I can with your business, okay? That's what I'm here for. So, listen, thank you for being here. Margie, thank you for all the awesome questions. Hopefully I helped you out. Was there anything else that I needed to answer for you, or are you good? Because if not, I'm going to end this one so I don't go into the hours of just waiting here. All right, I think we are good. So again, thank you for being here. This was pretty awesome. I'm going to be back with another one sooner than later. All right, so have yourself a great day. It's July 11th right now. If you're listening to the recording, this is when we did it. And I'll see you on the next one, okay? Talk to you later.